Well, once again, welcome to another edition of Where the 99 Lead. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, and Where the 99 Lead, it's a program brought to you by the University of Pikeville, where we talk all things regarding the university. Where the 99 Lead, of course, came from the historic 99 steps that lead to the University of Pikeville campus, but also lead from campus into the world, and that begins with our community. Special guest today, we talk about how students arrive at the University of Pikeville. Some may arrive straight out of high school. Some may arrive by following a different journey. Perhaps they've been to another college. That fit just wasn't there, and they've now transferred to the University of Pikeville. We're going to talk about some of those journeys, and perhaps that's the journey that your educational career will take to arrive at the University of Pikeville. Joined by Director of Admissions at UPike, Amber Collins. Welcome back in.
Thanks for having us.
Amber, once again, most that are tuned in, they know you. They know how you got to UPike, but briefly, let's talk about your background and how you arrived in your current position.
Okay. Well, I went to Pike County Central High School, graduated in 2003, and then I went to the University of Pikeville, which was Pikeville College then. I graduated in 2007 with a Bachelor's of Science in Communication, and right out of college, I got a job as an admissions counselor. So I did that position about 7 years, and Gary Justice was our former director of admissions, and he stepped up to our VP, and they moved me in the position as director of admissions.
And now all the responsibility lies on you until
Yes.
something messes up and you blame it on Gary.
That's right. That's usually how it goes.
We got it. Amber Collins, welcome back in. Of course, we
Thanks.
talk about admissions, and summer at UPike, it's still on
Busy.
everyone's mind.
Yep.
One of the busiest times, while other offices may slow down.
Yes.
I know admissions very, very busy. And Haley Combs, a returning guest to Where the 99 Lead as well. We've talked many times.
Yes.
And your role as transfer coordinator at the University of Pikeville. Haley, welcome back in. Let's talk about your background.
Sure. I came straight out of high school. I attended the G. McKinnon School and used to be Pikeville College. Graduated there in 2004. I was involved in many things while in college. And then out of college, I started at the newspaper in Pikeville, the Appalachian News Express, and then went to Big Sandy as an admissions counselor there, and then made my way back home to the University of Pikeville, and where I'm now the transfer counselor.
Yeah, transfer counselor, of course, an important role, and I would imagine during this time of year, it's a busy time for you as well. Perhaps students attended their first year of college, second year, whatever the case may be, and after the spring semester decided that they needed to be closer to home. Perhaps they needed to be closer to home. Changes in life status,
Yes.
changes in situations bring them to a transfer closer to home, or maybe a transfer back to where they felt like they should have been to begin with. Many different situations, and I would imagine with every transfer student, there's a different story as to why they end up at the University of Pikeville. That's not what it's all about, but you work closely with those students who are transferring. And let's talk about who qualifies to be tagged as a transfer student.
Sure. A lot of people in high school, now they take dual credit AP classes. There's a lot of different ways that a high school student can get college credit.
Sure.
So those coming straight, just graduating high school, some of them will think they are a transfer student, but they're not. They are still a beginning freshman. But a transfer is a student that has attended, whether it be 1 week, whether they, again, weren't happy at that first school and
Sure.
withdrew, or maybe they've attended several semesters at a college or university, then they would be considered a transfer student. So we get a lot of those students flagged sometimes with their application, and we have to see when they graduated high school
Sure.
to see if they are truly a transfer or not.
And students with dual credit hours, not considered a transfer student until they've set foot on another college's
Correct.
campus. those students, I know there are plenty of those students out there. It's something that in recent years you didn't hear about, but now there are many dual credit students out there. Transfer students, if a student were considering transferring to UPike, perhaps they're tuned in right now, or a family member's tuned in, and this student wasn't happy last year. Perhaps they've been out of school for several years, and many, because of the economy, the economic situations, looking to go back to school. What would qualify them as a transfer student 5 years ago or this past spring? Sounds like they still would be a transfer student. Now, what's the next step?
For admissions, they're going to want to do the application, and our application is free to complete whether they come in the office and complete the application or they complete it online. It's free to complete the application. We will have to have their official high school transcript or GED scores, their test scores, either ACT scores or SAT scores, and then any and all of their official college transcripts. And that's kind of what the big difference in accepting a transfer student and accepting just a freshman coming straight out of high school is that it's the same admission process.
Sure.
We have to have those same things, but we have an additional in that we have to have all of those college transcripts as well.
And the reason you have to have those college transcripts is you or someone at UPike has to determine what courses transfer, what courses don't. Courses at different colleges, perhaps they're labeled in different ways.
Yes.
Who determines that?
I can look at the unofficial transcript, and that's kind of the first question a transfer student has:
Sure.
is all of my transfers? Are they
Absolutely.
going to transfer? Am I going to lose credits? And that's the big thing. So I can look at an unofficial transcript for a student and say, yes, all of these classes will transfer. Some of them may transfer as an elective or as a different class than what what you originally took it as.
Sure.
If they send in the official transcripts, our registrar, Gia Potter, can she actually does the official evaluation and actually mails them that evaluation, which is very handy. The student can sit right there and look, well, that's the class I took, English 101, and it transfers to UPike as English 111. So it's very helpful for the student, and that's if they were to send in the official transcript. But if I can look at the unofficial and talk with them, I even sit down and kind of map it out for them, check classes off of check sheets. These are the classes you've taken. These are the classes you still have to take. And it gives them a better understanding of if they, maybe they completed 2 semesters at their last college or university, but maybe they've reached that 30 or plus hours and they're coming in as a sophomore, sometimes juniors, depending on how many hours that they have.
Sure.
So I can tell them that. I can tell them, you're looking at 60 hours transferring. You have almost all your basic or core classes completed. You're going to strictly focus on your major, and that really helps them in kind of putting it into perspective of how many classes they have left and kind of where they stand from there.
The best chance for a class to transfer is if it is a core class. If they've taken some electives at their previous college that maybe is kind of out there, it was a really fun class to take,
Right.
something that was an elective at that school, but odds are it's not going to transfer to many schools at all. But the core classes, typically, they do transfer, don't they?
They do, and that's no matter if you are coming from a KCTCS, Big Sandy Community and Technical College, Hazard Community and Technical College,
Sure.
Southeast. Those are kind of the 3 big ones that we get. But any KCTCS class from Bluegrass, Jefferson, if it is a core class, then it's more than likely going to transfer. And that's where I can sit down with a student again early on if they know or they are thinking about transferring and say, okay, well, how about you take this history class instead of this history class? You're going to need it when you transfer, but then it also will meet your requirement for your associate degree. So I can help the student in doing that as well. If it's not a KCTCS college, then if it's a core class, most all of them will transfer.
Right.
The only thing that really doesn't transfer are those transitional or developmental classes. D's and F's will not transfer. An orientation to college, every college and university has them. They just don't transfer to college.
Sure.
But pretty much, and that's what you start off taking, those core classes, pretty much all of them will transfer.
And of course, it's all based on grades as well.
Right.
The student typically has to have a C or better in the classes that they are looking to transfer to the University of Pikeville. But you're seeing transfer students that maybe have one semester under their belt somewhere and weren't satisfied, weren't happy, homesick. It happens. And you also see students that are coming from KCTCS or other community colleges. They've spent a couple of years somewhere else, and as they're preparing, what I'm hearing is pre-transfer counseling of students that they know they're going to be transferring to UPike, maybe heading into their final semester, their final year before they transfer, and they're looking for assistance with, take a look at my schedule. Is this the course I need to take? Am I going to be okay with this?
Yes, I do that all the time. And that's what we try and work with other colleges, meaning transfer counselors. We try and work with other 4 years as well in trying to get that student early on. You know, if a student knows that they're going to start off at KCTCS and then they're going to transfer somewhere in 2 years to work toward their bachelor's, then we try and work with that student, as well as KCTCS trying to work with that student, in that they don't waste time, they don't waste money, and they get classes that they need for associate and bachelor. So when they are ready to transfer, that they have almost, if not all, of their core classes completed.
How does that simplify the process? KCTCS, you talk about that, you talk about Big Sandy, Hazard, those schools that are under the KCTCS system. It simplifies the transfer process. How does that work?
When a student gets their associates at KCTCS, and I encourage them to do so, which you do have years that just aren't happy there for whatever reason, you know, they need to transfer earlier than that. But if they do receive their associate, almost everything that they have taken for their associates covers or they will need for our core classes. There may be 1 or 2 classes that I occasionally see that a student may not have, and so when they transfer, it's very exciting to them that they're going straight into their major. They're focusing on those biology classes or those communication classes or business or whatever, and that's when it gets exciting for the student. Because that's what they want to study. They're excited to not just change schools, but to get in those upper level classes and I guess dig into their major.
There you go. Haley Combs, transfer counselor at the University of Pikeville, our guest on this edition of Where the 99 Lead, and Amber Collins, director of admissions. And I guess the question that's on many transfer students or potential transfer students' minds, possibly transfer students' parents' minds. What about scholarships for transfer students?
Definitely. It's not too late. We don't have a specific deadline or anything. The big thing that they need to make sure that they do each year is file their FAFSA early. But for scholarships, for transfers, it's a little bit different than just coming straight out of high school. For a beginning freshman, we go strictly by that highest composite ACT score. For transfers, if they have, maybe they just transferred after 1 semester or 2, and they fall below that 30-hour mark, they're still considering beginning freshman. We will look at their highest composite ACT score. Most of the transfers will be that 30 credit hours or more, and therefore we will go by their college GPA.
Very good.
To award that scholarship.
And scholarships available for transfer students?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Even today?
Even today. Call me today.
That's incredible. Amber, we're hearing about something exciting going on at the University of Pikeville, hosting an overnight event, and it's called Pick Pikeville.
Yes,
Tell me what that's all about.
Very excited. I even brought a little flyer today.
Very good.
We mailed all of these out to rising seniors in high school. We had this event once before and we called it Junior Bash. So some people may know it as that. We had about 40 students And Haley and I decided to change the name a little bit. And after attending a conference, we decided to name it Pick Pikeville because we want all these students to pick Pikeville. We already have about 150 students who have said they're coming. So it's went from our 40, we thought we'd have about 40 or 50, we have 150
Very good.
who have already sent back in their confirmation letters. So we're really excited. They get to come to campus. The event is July 31st through August 1st.
Right.
They'll come in, they get to go to their dorms, they can pick their roommate, and they get to spend the night on campus for the ultimate overnight visit. And I won't give all the secrets away, but it's going to be fun.
What will go on at Pick Pikeville? I'm imagining a lot of fun events, and I'm not going to hold you down to details. I don't want you to give all the secrets away.
That's right.
Okay? But if a student is coming to this event, and this is for rising seniors who may or may not have made that decision of where they're
Yes.
going to attend college. That's the purpose of the event is here's what Pikeville is.
Right.
Here's what an overnight experience is on campus. What type of activities will they participate in outside the fun stuff that you're not going to tell me?
Well, a few years back when we did this, we focused a lot on financial aid, admissions, and it seems that that's not really what stuck with the kids. I mean, they're going to get that once they get into their senior year. We're going to be coming to the schools and talking with them. We wanted them to make memories where they could look back and think about all the fun they've had with their friends and people they didn't know. And then they would associate those memories with the University of Pikeville and maybe gear them towards coming to UPike. So
They're going to get a little taste of what dorm life
Yes.
is about, what campus life is about, and some of those fun activities
Yes.
that college students get to enjoy. So what kind of activities are going on?
well, one thing we might do is the Hatfield and McCoy, the rafting on the river and all that. So they're going to get wet while they're here. A lot of eating involved. We're
Yes.
going to eat a lot. We like to eat, you know. And maybe some tie-dyeing going on. Just some fun things. We haven't nailed every single thing down yet, for sure, but we have a list of ideas, everything we want to do with the kids.
I know your recruiting base covers several counties. 20-some counties I know is a primary recruiting
Yeah.
base. And you stretch far and wide with visits to schools and
Yes.
things like that. How far-reaching are the students that have committed to Pick Pikeville so far?
Well, Haley's been dealing a lot with the incoming mail. I know a big bulk of our area is Lexington, Louisville. We thought it would be more local kids,
Right.
but I think we even had some West Virginia and Virginia kids already. So it's going to be a big radius of students. So we're excited for them to meet each other and get to know one another.
The leading university of Central Appalachia.
right.
It covers a large area
Yes.
and far-reaching, and that's what the University of Pikeville has become, hasn't it?
Yes.
As you are director of admissions, I know we've talked about this, and I don't have an exact number of counties that admissions counselors are in every school year. How is that number changing as the university is changing?
Well, I added up the other day, we recruiting in about 150 schools, high schools.
Sure.
And that's just a few of us all together. I mean, and we hit those high schools at least once or twice a month. So the number's rising because UPike, is on the map, and the more popular we become, there's that demand for us to be in those high schools. So the number of high schools in which counselors are going to have to go to, that's rising every day. So more work, but we love it.
A little more work, and I know you do.
Yeah.
Everyone in the admissions office, when I encounter you guys, you always have a smile on your
That's
face.
right.
And excited about what's going on with
do.
your jobs and with prospective students.
Yes.
You talk about Lexington, Louisville, and those students that have committed to participate in Pick Pikeville as they're looking at UPike as their school of choice. As you have more students from outside our focus area, as you have more students, I know soccer players from Northern Kentucky, athletes from Louisville, Lexington, students from Lexington, Louisville. As you have more of those students, the word spreads further.
Yes, it
They
does.
tell their friends who tell their friends. Are you finding that's the case?
Yes, our recruiter in that area is Brittany Hodge. And just from a local high school, or not local, but Southern is one of the high schools that she concentrates on in Louisville. She's bringing 9 students to campus that will be attending the University of Pikeville this year, incoming freshmen. So you have to get in those schools and become acquainted with some of the students. And once you bring them to campus, they're pretty much hooked. They love the area, and they go back and they start spreading the words with their friend about their overnight visits or their campus visits. And then they want to come back and do the same thing. So yes, the word is spreading. And at the event, they'll get a free t-shirt. So I hope they'll wear it back to their community and spread the word of UPike even more.
Yeah, absolutely. As you're out in schools, as you talk to students from further reaching areas, what are some of the draws? What pulls those students to the University of Pikeville?
A lot of students we recruit in the Louisville-Lexington area, for sure, a lot of first-generation students. And once they come to campus, they realize the true love that we have for students here. And they love the feel, there's not many mountains there. They come here, they feel like they're in a totally different area, but only about 3.5 hours from home. I think it's the personal touch that we give, and we show that we care about the students. And of course, athletics draws a lot of students here from those areas too.
Absolutely, opportunities for athletes, certainly, and for those students. And I can think of some larger schools that prospective students aren't really given attention.
Yes.
They are a number, and you hate to say that in that way,
Right.
but it's a fact. I have one of my children attended a large state university, and they were just a number. There was no family feel to that university, and I think that's certainly a draw as well.
It is.
UPike, even with the growing enrollment, is still smaller than some of the high schools in the state of Kentucky, and it has that family feel, and that's a draw with that. Of course, out beating the bushes in the schools, and Haley, Amber's not giving it up. I want to hear some of the activities for Pikeville. All right, I heard about getting wet, I heard about food, I heard about tie-dye. Is that it?
Well, we hope to do some kind of, we're thinking maybe like a celebrity dinner. Or something where you get to dress up a little bit, take lots of photos, just different than what you normally do. Karaoke, photo booth.
Yes.
Just different, but yeah, have a good time, meeting new people, hanging out, making memories.
Absolutely. And of course, using those memories to draw that student back to Pikeville when they make that final school choice. Once we get them here, they've made that overnight visit. They see what Pikeville is all about, what the campus is all about, what the community is all about. We talk about family feel, and that's what the UPike community certainly is, and certainly is a draw for that. Not just new students, Haley, but also transfer students. Let me ask you this, because as we talk, it's midsummer. Transfer students just now figuring out what they're going to do for the upcoming school year. Is it too late for a transfer student to attend UPike?
It is not too late. Like I said, there's not necessarily a deadline for scholarships. We don't have a deadline for our applications. So if the student, even though it's, we still have a ways to August, even if they, August the 1st up and say, I really don't want to go back to that school, or, I just wasn't happy there. I want to get closer to home. Whatever their case may be, we would love to have them join our UPike family, and it's not too late.
Sure. Let's go through the steps. If someone is looking to transfer, they were in school this past semester somewhere else. If they were in school at another school 10 years ago, it doesn't matter. The steps are the same.
Correct.
Let's walk through that process. Step number one for a transfer student, if they want to come to UPike this fall,
is that application. Most of the time for transfer students, it's easier to do online.
Yes.
Some, may not be right here close to campus right now. So normally it's easier to do online, and again, it's free to complete it online, just on our website, upike.edu. And there's the application. You can click right there and fill out the application, and so that's the first step.
Okay.
The second step would be to usually make just a phone call to, if you attended high school, get your official high school transcript, or there you can go online and request, if you don't have a copy of your GED scores. We have to just show that you either graduated high school or got a GED.
Sure.
And then if you have, in talking about test scores, Most of the time, students take it in high school. Sometimes for transfers, that's not always the case.
Sure.
They may have, maybe before that law was put in place where students had to take, the ACT or SAT, they never took it.
Right.
Sometimes I can waive those scores. If there may be a non-traditional student that has never taken the ACT or SAT, I might be able to waive those scores. And again, I would just have to see the college transcript.
Sure.
And then the fourth thing would be that college transcript. Any and all schools that they have attended. Even if sometimes students get, well, I only attended that school for 1 week and I withdrew from all my classes. We still have to have that transcript showing that you withdrew from all your classes there.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 steps.
Not-
Easy as that.
Yeah, it's not difficult at all.
No.
But step number 1, go to upike.edu and complete an online application. Get your high school transcript together, your college transcript, and then, of course, they'll need to talk with Haley Combs, transfer counselor at UPike as well. Work through that, and as late as open registration, you'll still accept transfer students.
Exactly, and that is that Thursday, Friday before classes begin. Our classes are actually a week later. This year they actually begin August the 25th.
August 25th.
It's the first day of class.
And open registration dates, Amber?
They are the Thursday and Friday before class starts. I'm not sure the dates. 25th is when class starts, and it's the Thursday and Friday before.
Very good. If someone's still trying to decide, transfer student, first year student, someone just graduated high school and said, I'm not going to school. I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to take a semester off, whatever. Now they're deciding, I need to go ahead and get this journey started, and UPike's the place for me. And if they'd like to attend the university, it's not a lot different process for a new student
not.
than it is transfer student.
No, you just go online, fill out an application, or stop in our office, and we'll help you get through the process. We'll even contact your school and help you get the transcripts and everything that you need. And usually your test scores come right on your transcripts, so we can get you accepted in like 10 minutes, honestly.
Very good. And then, of course, get them scheduled for a visit with financial aid, with housing, all those offices that need to be taken care of. I think something that many people don't consider is how the community at UPike works together to make sure that the process is simple. It's not overwhelming for a student or the student's family, but you help them walk through the process. And I think that's something that is an added benefit at the university. Amber Collins, Director of Admissions at UPike, congratulations, another great class incoming. I know you still have work to do.
Yes,
Pick Pikeville coming up, and we hope that everyone attends Picks Pikeville, and we'll see them on campus next year. And Haley Combs, transfer counselor at UPike. Good luck. We're going to send some more transfers your way.
Send them my way.
It's going to be a busy summer. We'll look forward to the fall semester. You've been tuned to Where the 99 Lead, a program brought to you by the University of Pikeville as we talk admissions and, in particular, transfer students to the University of Pikeville. I'm Andrew Joyce saying thanks for tuning in. This program has been brought to you by the University of Pikeville, the leading university of Central Appalachia.